The Mercury Star Runner is an amazing vehicle, and I am here today to go over every little nook and cranny to help you make a more informed buying decision as to whether or not you should get one of your very own. I'm going to tell you what I love about it, what I hate about it, and show you a few things that I would like to see changed in the future. My name is Eternal Pain, welcome to the channel, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing for future content. Now let's get into the video. Mercury Star Runner is currently listed as a medium freight ship in Star Citizen, but later on when data running comes online, it has a massive server room to store loads and loads of data so you can also trade that valuable information. As far as the overall design of the Mercury Star Runner, I do enjoy the mixture of luxury and utility that they've thrown into this ship. On the exterior, you have a beautiful asymmetrical design that stands out when you're in a crowd, and on the interior, you do have areas where it's open and you can see the wiring, but when you get into places like the living quarters and the recreation room, you truly get a taste of the luxury that you can get on an extended journey in this ship. The MSR also has a very large cargo bay for a ship its size, toting 114 total SCU of cargo space. If you can manage to fit a whole load of Laranite in there, that's about a 65k profit. Additionally, you can store multiple vehicles in this cargo bay. Say you're out with a few friends and you want to put 4 rock mining vehicles in there, you can fit them. I have tried. Yes, it works. In the engineering room of this ship, it features access to all of your components so that it'll be easier to work on the ship from the interior when physicalized components are introduced into the game. As you enter the door to engineering, if you look to your left all the way over on the wall, that's where your quantum drive is. Directly in front of you as you walk through the door, you have access to both of your power plants and your coolers, and as you walk through the door on the wall behind you, both of your shield generators are mounted. The living quarters is nicely designed with storage bags on the wall, shelves so you can place little knickknacks and trophies that you pick up throughout your journeys, a couple of workstations so that you can catch up on whatever you were working on before, and 3 beds so that you and 2 of your friends can log out all on the same ship. I do really like how they've integrated the latrines into this room. In the central archway, they are nice and tucked out of the way behind a door that you have to open through a button on the side of the wall. Inside each one out of the 2 that are on the ship, you'll have a shower and a toilet that both pop out so that later on when those mechanics are introduced into the game, if you're on this ship, you won't have any problem needing to stop for a rest. In the recreation room, we have a nice leather couch, a chess table in the center so that on long journeys you don't get bored with your friends and you can sit down and play a game, or 2, or 3, or 5, depending on how far you're jumping. There is also a full kitchen in this room so that you won't have to stop for food on long journeys as well. This room has been designed with a nice degree of elegance, and it provides just that little bit of homey comfort so that you don't get too homesick during your journey among the stars. I especially like the way the turrets are set up on this ship. Being side-by-side orientation means that 2 of your friends can enter the turrets at the same exact time and not have any conflicts like they would on something like the Constellation, where you have one above and one below, and you have to fight over who gets in it first. As you make your way through the front of the ship, you'll find yourself in a long corridor that leads you down all the way to the cockpit. Now, the cockpit on this ship, in my fully honest opinion, is probably one of the best, if not the best, designed cockpit in the game. The seats look like they're comfortable to sit in, and they've got a nice little rail system that takes you up to the MFD panels. Now, as far as the MFD panels go, you have 2 directly in front of you in the pilot seat, you have 1 to the lower right side, and you have 2 directly to your left, giving you a total of 5 that you can put anything you want on, and giving you access to plenty of functionality in your ship. Another thing I really like about the cockpit in the MSR is the fact that all of the buttons for everything you might need to use have been physicalized so that later on when the more robust simulation system comes in, those buttons will have functionality and it makes the cockpit less prone to have another rework before the final version of the game. Okay, now I have saved this room for last because it's the scanning room and it's not really functional per se right now. You can have somebody in the support seat monitoring radar pings or managing power systems or something of that nature. But I really think this room is underutilized. Yes, you have your server panels on the side for data collection, and you've got the functionality of somebody actually being in the seat to monitor your systems and stuff, but your co-pilot can monitor your systems as well if you have a co-pilot. Now, this room has an oblong shape to it, and I really feel like if they would have tried hard enough, they could have fit a small medical bay towards the back. I think that that would have added to the functionality and viability of the MSR in the end, and I hope to see that maybe CIG takes that under advisement. They might not hear a word I say, but still, I feel like it's a valid suggestion to have a medical bay on this ship, and I feel like there's just enough room to put a small one in there. And last but not least, the thing that was most advertised and most anticipated of the Mercury Star Runner's release, the secret passageways that lead into the underbelly of the ship. Now, to gain access, you can do this from a few points. There is a hidden panel and hidden door in the cargo bay that leads you to a little smuggler's bay. There are hatches all throughout the ship so that you can drop down into it at will. Or if you want to just look really cool while you're opening up one of the hatches, you can walk into the recreation room, take the White Queen off of the table, place it on the coaster that's sitting on the counter in the kitchen, and the chess table slides out of the way, and it just looks like a really cool animation. Later on, when you're able to customize your ships a little better, I really hope that they allow us to put security panels or something of that nature on these panels and on these secret doorways so that only people who have the security code can actually access that part of the ship. Additionally, I do think that this is a great addition given the fact that the only point of entry to the ship is through the cargo bay. If you have invaders that manage to find their way into your cargo bay because, I don't know, they blow your cargo bay door off or they cut it open or something of that nature, even if there's 4 or 5 of them and you have a crew of 3 people, if you have locked your server room door, your engineering door, and the panel that you enter your smuggler's bay through, they are effectively trapped in your cargo bay, and that gives your crew ample opportunity to surround them and quickly nullify the threat. I believe if you have a smart crew running this ship, there's not going to be any issues with people being able to board this thing easily. I don't know, I just really like the way this ship looks. Let me know how you feel about it down in the comments below. All right, so now that I've took you on a tour of the ship and I've showed you what I like and a couple of things that I dislike about the design, let's talk about the loadout on the Star Runner. So on the nose, it has a custom gimbal mount that has 2 size 3 hardpoints. It has 2 turrets that also have 2 size 3 hardpoints. It has 2 size 2 shields, 2 size 2 power plants, 2 size 2 coolers, and a size 2 quantum drive. As far as the default loadout goes, all of the guns on the ship are CF-37 Panthers. The shields are Aspis Industrial Grade C shield generators. The power plants are Diligence Grade C Industrial power plants. It has 2 Cool Core coolers, which are really good, and honestly I don't feel like you need to upgrade these at all. And it has the bullion, however you pronounce it. I think it's Bolon. I could be wrong. If I am, just let me know down in the comments and I'll try to get it right next time, or I won't, just to piss you off. Either way, I said it and that's how it goes. But overall, I don't have very many complaints about this loadout. You can swap out the guns on this with all ballistic weapons, and that would really increase your DPS. You could put all Mantis GT220s on it, and that would be a force to be reckoned with 6 size 3 ballistic Gatling guns on it, which would be insane. But in order to use all of those, you would have to have a crew size of at least 3 people, because the only guns that the pilot has access to are the weapons on the nose. The other 4 guns that are on the ship, you have to have a man in each of the turrets so that those could be utilized. As far as the shields go, the Aspis it's okay, but it doesn't regenerate that fast. My recommendations would be to change the shields out for 1 FR66, and I would probably go with a Rampart for my other shield. The power plants, I don't feel like these really need swapped out, because the 2 Diligence power plants actually provide you with all the power you would probably need for that. And as far as the cool cores, you can leave those in there as well, because those are one of the best coolers in the game. And the quantum drive, I would switch that out for probably a crossfield because it's an extremely fast drive and it's not that expensive unless you just want to be really fancy and put an XL1 in it just for that little extra boost to your quantum speed. But all honesty, I would probably go with the crossfield because it's cheaper than the XL1 and it's just slightly, and I mean slightly, slower. Tell me if there's any changes that you would make to the loadout. All right, so that's enough for the loadout. I know a question that I was wondering when I first decided to buy the MSR is, how does she handle? First time I hopped in the MSR, I was pleasantly surprised because even though it's a bigger ship that takes up quite a bit of space on a landing pad, it handles like a medium fighter. Now, it's not the most agile ship in the verse, and it's not the fastest ship in the verse, but if you hands down had to outfly somebody because you didn't have enough crew to man your guns, or you just had to maneuver well enough to give your crew the opportunity to fend off a threat, you would be more than capable of doing it in this ship. And I have absolutely no complaints when it comes to the maneuverability of the MSR. It's just, it surprised the hell out of me. And if you just want a big ship to fly around like it's a little ship, you go right ahead and buy the MSR because that thing, the handling is buttery smooth on it. Absolutely no complaints there, and that is partially due to its massive maneuvering thrusters and its even more massive main engines. And as far as putting on the brakes go, when you put on the brakes with an MSR, you slow down fast. You may overheat your engines just a little bit as you come closer to a stop, but once you get down to the white section on your speed limiter, you can just let go of the space brake and the ship will stop itself on a dime. Although, just remember, this is a bigger ship, so if you're flying closer to a planet, you do want to exercise caution in waiting too late to brake as you're headed towards the ground, because as I found out, even though it has great thrusters and great maneuverability, it still has a challenge with gravity. If you love the way it flies, if you hate the way it flies, let me know down in the comments and give me a reasonable point of view as to why you don't like it, and I'll take a closer examination of the handling of my MSR. All right, all of the maneuverability being talked about, I do want to talk about the fuel consumption of the MSR. That is one of my main issues with this ship, and I do believe that CIG is going to patch it at some point and make it a more reasonable usage, but I don't like the idea that I use anywhere from 6 to 10% of my hydrogen fuel just trying to break atmosphere with the MSR. It's an aerodynamically designed ship, so therefore it shouldn't have that much stress getting out of atmosphere. And then even when you're flying around in space, if you fly around for 15-20 minutes, you're probably going to be at about 20% of your hydrogen fuel, whereas I have other ships that I can fly around for hours and still have plenty of hydrogen fuel left to get to an outpost or a station to refuel. Since I've got the MSR, I have ran out of gas with it twice, and that's the only ship I've ever managed to run out of fuel with, and it was just because I didn't pay attention while I was mining with my rock. If you have any thoughts on this ship, tell me about them down in the comments. Give me your opinions about the ship. What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? Whether the fuel consumption is a deal breaker for you. And don't forget to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. And above all else, citizens, have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time in the verse. Oh, why do I have so many emails? I really gotta learn how to clean this crap out every once in a while. Wait, what? Oh. Wifey's gonna be mad about this.